like a hurricane to my heart, till it far away. See the lights on the other side. I'm going to get there and hope we will meet there.
in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 won't you let the light shine through? It's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 won't you let the light shine through?
Welcome to the 2023-2024 FTC Florida State Kickoff. We're right here in the beautiful brand new Center for Innovation at Lake Highland Prep. And while we have this amazing new building, this year's game is themed off the theater. So we're gonna head back to the theater. We're gonna see Bob and Sid. We're gonna learn all about the game. AJ is gonna give us their tech tips and of course, the big game reveal. So with that, let's head back to the theater.
Welcome, guys. We're having some technical problems at the sites. We're working on it. So welcome to all of you on the YouTube. I'm Mike. We got AJ working in the back here, and Scott's on audio. So with that, Andrew's coming into the theater, and we're going to kick it off.
Wow, it's like I was here the whole time.
Shoot. Are we live? Are we live?
We're live?
Oh, I got to get rid of the scoring elements.
Oh yeah. You guys saw nothing.
Nothing. We can't reveal
For
it
at
until
least
25
or
minutes.
something, yeah.
All right, welcome. Hey, quick summary of this season. We should be submitting events tomorrow. So volunteers, I would say by the end of next week, you can start signing up for events, same to the teams. And I guess the other important thing I just want to highlight real quick is we have a theme for this year. Just like First has a theme of the games, we're going to start having a Florida theme. And the theme this year is all about teams helping teams. And so you're going to get some emails from me. For example, Super 7 has written a bunch of videos that can help a lot of the teams. And then we're going to show you a quick video from the Northeast where their Slick concept and a website where we can leverage to start allowing teams to help each other.
Hey, I'm Ramsey, and I'm the new head of Slick, or Student Leadership Innovation Council. In the past, Slick has primarily helped teams at Northeast Florida events. However, this year we are expanding to make it easier for more teams to help each other, as well as connect throughout the season. The new Slick website was made to help eliminate some of the frustrations experienced when trying to find the right information at the right time. The Slick website is a place for teams to submit ideas, recommendations, and resources they find helpful. This site is a gateway for teams to connect and learn from each other. Many teams have created amazing resources, but they aren't always easy to find. Slick aims to promote these resources, allowing more teams to see them. Submitting resources and joining the Slick leadership team are great ways to increase your outreach and help other teams. I hope you join me on this adventure to help promote, educate, and support teams in FTC. Please visit the website at slickftc.com. Thank you and good luck.
Hey, great information. So again, teams helping teams, that's what this theme is all about. So real quick, we also plan on having a video contest this year in December, so stay tuned to my emails about the details of the video contest. And then state championship again, we'll have 56 teams and we'll be at the Advent Health Center again, Field House in Winter Haven, and we will again have a t-shirt contest that gives teams a chance to qualify to attend the World Championship.
And you see all the wonderful shirts behind us from the years. Last year's shirt was amazing. So like the submissions you guys send are awesome. And some of you, maybe you have just graduated, you're mentoring a team. Being an alumni is a really amazing opportunity that you get to do a lot of really cool things. We're actually started a Florida First alumni group for many years. Barry's been talking about it forever. The email address is up on the screen, floridafirstalumni@gmail.com. We've got a lot of cool programs coming up. We do site visits. We do days where you get job fairs and things like that. It's really amazing. Yeah. Also, you can connect with other alumni. There's a group of alumni up at UF who are actually doing a robot in 3 days build that starts tomorrow, which, you know, us OG robot in 3 days guys are like, what, tomorrow? You're supposed to start now, but that's fine. They're gonna do an awesome job. Check them out there on their Twitch and Instagram teams. So yeah, robot in 3 days. Cool to see it still going.
All right, so now a tech update from our master, AJ.
Hello, Florida First Tech Challenge, and welcome to the center stage game. It's AJ here to once again talk about changes to the technology for this season and what it all means for you. One of the bigger changes this season comes to the types of Android smartphones that are allowed for use as part of your robot controller or driver station, specifically the Motorola G2 and G3 phones, as well as any Motorola G4 Play phones that have not been updated to Android version 7 are no longer legal for use. And that upgrade to Android version 7 is the real goal of this change. By removing support for Android version 6, the tech team will enable a lot of future improvements to the First Tech Challenge SDK. While we're on the topic of phones, it's important for you to know that next year, starting in September 2024, teams will no longer be allowed to use Android smartphones as their robot controller device. The reason for this is when you use a smartphone as the robot controller, it communicates with the driver station using a protocol called Wi-Fi Direct. Unfortunately, Wi-Fi Direct is relatively unmaintained and it has some reliability issues, so by taking it out of the equation, we can again enable some future improvements. This also means that we can continue to use smartphone devices as the driver station for the foreseeable future. Now let's move on to some other notable rule changes from Game Manual Part 1, which was released back in July. The first one is Rule RE01, which relates to power switches. There's a new model of switch that's available for use, and it looks a bit different from other switches we've used in the past. And starting next season, the Matrix power switch will no longer be legal for use. This shouldn't affect too many teams because the Matrix power switches are starting to get hard to come by. This rule also provides an important clarification on secondary power switches. This is something that can be useful if you want to, for example, be able to turn off LEDs on your robot independently from the main robot power. These are allowed, but you should be careful when using them, especially when it comes to labeling the switches. It's all a matter of safety. If a member of the field personnel needs to reach down and turn off your robot in an emergency situation, it should be very obvious which switch they should reach for. While we're talking about power, remember that your main robot battery must have a 20 amp fuse installed in line. This is not a new restriction, but it is an important safety reminder. Next is Rule RE12, which is all about sources of light on your robot. This rule got a bit of a rewrite this year, and one of the more important changes is related to lasers. Specifically, lasers are allowed as long as they are part of an allowed sensor, as long as they are rated as Class 1 lasers, and as long as they use the non-visible spectrum of light. This provides important safety guidelines while potentially opening the field to additional sensors in the future. And while we're on the topic of lights, some teams have started to use lighted team numbers on their robot. Rule RG03 clarifies that these team numbers must still be visible even when those lights are turned off. Rule RE13 changes restrictions on vision cameras and vision sensors, and the differentiation between these things is important. Vision cameras plug in via USB and generally allow you to stream images, whereas vision sensors act like sensors and they adhere to all of the sensor rules. Crucially, this change allows for the Husky lens. This is a vision sensor that was introduced via the Team Q&A last year and has now been codified in Game Manual Part 1. You can expect some additional support for the Husky lens to be added to the First Tech Challenge SDK soon. Something that's already in the SDK is support for detecting April tags via a new feature called the Vision Portal. If you want to learn more, I encourage you to check out the First Tech Challenge documentation site, where there is an introduction to April tags and some tag samples that you can download. While you're there, keep an eye out throughout the season for additional documentation on dead wheel odometry. This is a new class of commercial off-the-shelf component that is legal this season. Finally, there is a new gamepad approved for use as part of your driver station. It is available in a few different colors, and aesthetic modifications are allowed with some important restrictions. As always, it's important to read Game Manual Part 1, including the revisions that will take place after kickoff. And keep an eye out for updates to the First Tech Challenge SDK and documentation site. It's going to be a great season, and I can't wait to see you center stage.
And here we are, getting ready for center stage. AJ once again with an amazing update and tips. You can actually, he started up a YouTube channel. You see the FTAAJ. Find him, subscribe. He's already got a bunch of videos up there. They're super awesome. But one of the cool things that we're doing this year is that we actually have a bunch of physical remote kickoff events, and we've connected to them through Zoom. That was kind of part of our hiccup earlier on, but I think we're going to try to say hi to everybody. So let's start off with literally like 600 feet that way is the Orlando League. Hi. Hey, everybody.
Hey, say hello.
Wow, they're so excited. All right, I think we might have audio problems still, so we'll just move on to the next one.
All right, now we're going to the Northeast Florida League up in Jacksonville. There's the crowd.
They
All right.
know how to wave. I could do sound effects on them. Oh my God, we're so excited. Okay.
And I'm
Is it
Megan
working?
Flick, a part of team 1172 Southeast Charge.
Keep going, okay. So next we're going to head down a little bit over to the Gulf Coast League. There they are. Hello, Gulf Coast League. Oh my gosh, Gulf Coast League is so amazing. We're here doing cool stuff, and I'm here with Gears of Fire. Yeah, Gears of Fire are super awesome. And okay, we got to move on. Sorry, guys, the audio's not working, and we're behind schedule.
Now we're going to the Aero Coast, up in the Panhandle.
Whoa.
Ooh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Very cool.
Johnny always bringing the party.
All right, now we're switching to the first video.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for the game animation and come back.
It's right here in front of us. You can't see it, but we're going to show it to you anyways.
Well, I threw the two game elements off to the side.
Oh, that's right. I didn't see that. Anyways, let's watch the official video. Here is the official game for Center Stage.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams, coaches, mentors, volunteers, parents, friends, and the entire community. I'm Amy Linebarger, and I'm happy to be here for the First Tech Challenge 2023 to 2024 season kickoff and reveal of Center Stage, presented by RTX, all part of the First In show, presented by Qualcomm season. All 10 of the 2023 Dean's List Award winners are here today, and we're honored to be your kickoff celebration hosts.
Hi First Tech Challenge. I'm Lucas Boyle, and I'm pumped to be here today to raise the curtain on our Center Stage season and celebration. We have a full show today, packed with kickoff messages from some familiar and favorite first faces, the Center Stage season reveal, and a detailed field walkthrough to help teams get started with season planning and gameplay strategy.
All of the Center Stage game materials will be published on our website after the broadcast, so please use the website as your reference during the season. To officially welcome you to our kickoff today, we have First Chief Executive Officer Chris Moore.
Hello, First Tech Challenge community. The First In show, presented by Qualcomm season, is here, and we're celebrating the role our STEM skills play in the arts. I'm thrilled to help usher in the new season and welcome you to Center Stage, presented by RTX. I want to take a moment to thank you, our participants, our coaches, our mentors, and our volunteers. Thank you for making First Tech Challenge program the successful, engaging, and fun program that it is. We also wouldn't be here today without the generous support of our sponsors. I want to extend a very special thanks to the First Tech Challenge season presenting sponsor, RTX. This season, more than 70,000 First Tech Challenge participants from around the world will raise the curtain on the power of using design, creativity, and precision to create all new experiences. On behalf of everyone here at First, I want to wish all of you good luck and a great season. We can't wait to see how you take on the game this year and put your skills center stage.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. A huge thank you to all our generous sponsors this year and making the First In-Show season and Center Stage game possible. Inspired by the innovative spirit of First participants, Qualcomm's support and collaboration continues to help strengthen the pipeline of STEM leaders who will create a future pushing the limits of innovation.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams, and welcome to Center Stage, part of the First In-Show season presented by Qualcomm. My name is Kedar Kundap, Senior Vice President and General Manager of Compute and Gaming at Qualcomm Technologies, Inc. Every day, we use STEAM to push the edge of what's possible in extended reality. From recreating legendary cinematic effects to reimagining how technology can allow audiences to have immersive experiences in art, music, and gaming. This season, your innovative spirit and unique skill sets will take center stage as you shine a spotlight on the endless possibilities of art and STEM. The future is yours to create. So, take the stage. Good luck, First Tech Challenge teams.
Thanks, Qualcomm. And now, the Center Stage season presenting sponsor, RTX, is taking us backstage to show us the beauty and importance of design and some of their most incredible innovations.
Welcome to the 2023 First Tech Challenge season, Center Stage presented by RTX. I'm the Industrial Manager in the Hot Section Module Center here at Pratt & Whitney. This is one of many production sites that makes us a world leader in design, manufacturing, and service of aircraft engines. As an RTX employee, I'm able to share my operations and career coaching expertise with the First Tech Challenge teams I coach. Shout out to my robotics warriors in Connecticut and Montana. This year's First Tech Challenge season explores how design can set the stage for innovation. We'll celebrate the role of STEM in the arts where creativity can inspire big ideas. Let's take a quick look behind the curtain at some incredible RTX innovations that exemplify the beauty in engineering and technology. At the nexus of science and art, we find the James Webb Telescope, an international project led by NASA. Raytheon developed the focal plane arrays on MIRI, one of Webb's 4 key imaging instruments. By capturing light that's been traveling for billions of years, it's giving us new insight into some of the biggest secrets of the universe and revolutionizing our understanding of it. In Asheville, North Carolina, we engineered a new future in aviation, a sustainable modern solution that was born out of design. Our team of engineers collaborated to build a world-class turbine airfoil factory that exemplifies Industry 4.0 core principles. This allows us to meet future market demand while using less energy and creating less waste. And finally, check out RTX's hybrid electric flight demonstrator program. Collins Aerospace is developing a 1 megawatt electric motor that will help reduce aircraft carbon emissions on the next generation of commercial flight. This engineering marvel delivers 4 times the power, twice the voltage, and half the weight of our current generator. Technology meets design again. This year, your First Tech Challenge team will join thousands of students worldwide to show us how design can drive innovation. It's your turn to take center stage with creativity. Best of luck this year, and remember, teamwork makes the dream work.
Wow! Thanks for the behind-the-scenes look, Mickey. And thank you for being a First Tech Challenge mentor.
We want to take a moment to remind our community that gracious professionalism is an important part of what makes First, and that it's also at the heart of each team practice and get-together, and each and every First Tech Challenge event. This year, one of our most gracious and professional volunteers, our 2023 First Championship Volunteer of the Year, Chris Johannesson, is sharing a message about gracious professionalism.
Hi, I'm Chris Johannesson. Here in Los Angeles, I mentor first teams, from beginners to advanced. I encourage gracious professionalism based on what the actual words mean to me. What is a professional? Doing challenging work, using your mind and talent and education as much as using your hands. Adult professionals push very hard towards their goals. Design the product, cure the patient, earn a promotion. They are competing against their own goals. This season, help your team set internal goals. How will you measure success? A reliable autonomous? Learning a new skill? Solve problems in a methodical way. Learn all you can beforehand. For a large technical challenge, break it into smaller steps. Discuss with your teammates and seek advice from mentors. These are things that adult professionals do. Start developing these skills now. By the way, colleges will recognize your efforts. What about the gracious part? Help your teammates all you can. Favor communication, not isolation. When you enter the robotics room, show the behavior and even the language that makes others feel welcome and valued. People will notice and stay and contribute thanks to your influence. So, gracious professionalism, to me, means being a helpful teammate while pushing hard towards your goals. Have an exciting season.
What an important message from Mr. Chris Johansson. Our team coach also makes sure gracious professionalism is a priority for our team. Next up, we have Senior Program Manager of First Tech Challenge, Joanne Halloran. Joanne has been an integral part of the First Tech Challenge team for more than 16 years and fundamental to the growth and success of our First Tech Challenge program. She joins us today to welcome you all to the center stage season and share a few updates.
Hi, I am Joanne Halloran, Senior Program Manager of First Tech Challenge, and I couldn't be happier to talk about the new season and this year's game, Center Stage, presented by RTX. First, I want to share my gratitude with all of you, our First Tech Challenge community. Your ability to problem solve, your creativity, your perseverance, and your smart minds have inspired all of us at First Tech Challenge. With your help, we continue to move the mission of First forward. You can help by spreading the word about First. I would love for you to tell people in your communities how the First programs have served you, your accomplishments and new skills, and how we are together changing the future. Our goal is to make First Tech Challenge available to students across the globe, and to do that, we need your help. Speaking of growing our community, thanks to the generous support of the DECA Foundation and Bosch, we have rookie team grants available. These are need-based grants that will provide $750 towards a rookie team registration and give rookie teams a head start on the purchase of their competition kits. Team and class pack season registration is open. This season, our robot technology team has developed what we call the Vision Portal, providing a common way to use TensorFlow and AprilTag, a new technology that's now part of the First Tech Challenge software. Vision Portal supports image recognition, robot navigation, multiple cameras, and many other features, all available to teams programming in FTC blocks or Java. Now it's easier for more teams to succeed in Center Stage. Like all industries, from consumer goods to food to automobiles, First was impacted in previous seasons by the challenges in the supply chain. Thanks to the hard work by Rev Robotics and our First community, we have control hubs in stock right now for teams and class pack users. Speaking of Rev Robotics, did you know that they were founded by a First alum? First alumni are folks who have graduated from high school after time on a First team. All of you on teams now will be First alumni someday, and we hope that you will be excited to remain a part of the First community. Many of our First Tech Challenge team mentors and event volunteers are First alumni. Be sure to thank them and ask them about their journeys. Learn more about First alumni benefits and tools to make the most of your First experience on the First website. And finally, we are continuing to expand the First Tech Challenge Championship footprint. At the 2024 First Championship, we're growing team participation from 192 to 224 teams, allowing more teams than ever the opportunity to qualify. It will still require teamwork, grit, and your best gracious professionalism to get there, but we want to ensure every team around the world has a merit-based opportunity to earn a spot. And now, without any further ado, here's the information you've all been waiting for. Center Stage, presented by RTX. We hope you enjoy the game and wish you the best of luck for an amazing and inspiring season.
Thank you, Joanne. We also want to share an enormous thank you to our dedicated game design committee, Jessica Ballin-Smith, Michael Coleman, Mark Edelman, Aaron Fadden, Joe Parado, Manny Lowe, and Kevin Rudd. Thank you for the hundreds of hours you have spent creating, refining, and documenting this year's artistic and creative game, and the hundreds of hours you'll spend in season. We can't wait to show you the most important part of our Center Stage kickoff, the reveal. A special thank you to the very spectacular 2019-2020 Volunteer of the Year winner, Kevin Thorpe, for the beautiful animation, and First's very own Michelle Long for narrating every detail. After the reveal, make sure to stick around for the field walkthrough. And now, the exhilarating reveal of the 2023-2024 First Tech Challenge game, Center Stage, presented by RTX.
Welcome to the First Tech Challenge 2023-2024 season game, Center Stage, presented by RTX. A team consists of up to 2 driver operators, a human player, a coach, and a robot. Each match is played with 4 randomly selected teams, 2 per alliance. Each alliance is allowed 1 human player. Your opponent for one match may be your partner for another. Robots must be built from materials specified in the game manual and fit within an 18-inch sizing tool and may expand after the match begins. The primary scoring element is a plastic hexagonal-shaped pixel, 3 inches across by 1/2 inch thick. There are 64 white pixels and 10 each yellow, green, and purple pixels. Teams may construct custom game and scoring elements, including paper drones and team props. The game is played on a 12-foot square playing field with a foam tile floor and 1-foot-high walls. 2 trusses are located mid-field. Between the trusses is the hinged stage door. In the back of the field are the backdrops, 1 for each alliance. Beneath the backdrops are taped-off backstage areas. In the front corners are taped-off wings. In each quadrant of the field are 3 separate spike marks. Just inside of the front wall are white pixel location stripes, and outside of the front wall there are 3 taped-off landing zones. April tags are located in the field wall and both backdrops to aid navigation. Blue and red alliance stations are on the left and right sides of the field, and in front of those are the red and blue human player stations. Before each match, pixels are stacked next to each player station and on the inside of the front wall. 4 pixels are placed on the spike marks. However, team props may be substituted for the spike mark pixels. Teams place their robots on the field, touching the side walls. Each team may preload 1 yellow and/or 1 purple pixel onto their robot. Teams may also preload 1 drone onto their robot. The spike mark pixels and team props are then randomized. The field and players are now ready. The match begins with a 30-second autonomous period. During this time, teams may attempt to score using pre-programmed instructions and sensor inputs. A purple pixel placed on the spike mark tape earns 10 points. However, if the spike mark tape has a team prop, placing a purple pixel will earn 20 points. Each pixel in the backstage earns 3 points. And each pixel placed on the backdrop earns 5 points. If a yellow pixel is placed on the backdrop in the location indicated by the spike mark pixel, it earns 10 bonus points. Or 20 points if a team prop was used as an indicator. Robots parked in the backstage earn 5 points. Pixels scored in the autonomous period will also earn points at the end of the driver-controlled period. Following the autonomous period is the 2-minute driver-controlled period. During this time, human players may introduce new pixels into the wings. Each pixel that is placed backstage earns 1 point, and each pixel on the backdrop earns 3 points. Each mosaic of 3 identical or 3 different pixels earns 10 points. If an alliance can build pixels above the set lines, they earn a 10-point bonus for each line they cross. The last 30 seconds of the driver-controlled period is the end game. Robots may continue scoring pixels, and there are also ways to earn bonus points. Robots may launch drones over the truss or stage door and into the landing zones. Depending on where they're parked, they can earn 10, 20, or 30 points. Robots parked in the backstage area earn 5 points. And a robot suspended by the rigging earns 20 points. There are many ways to score in Center Stage, but there are also rules that, if not followed, will deduct points from your alliance. Robots may not limit the upward motion of the stage door. Robots may not descore pixels from the opposing alliance's backdrop. Intentionally damaging another robot is not allowed. A robot may not affect the flight of an opposing alliance's drone. A robot may not make contact with an opponent suspended from the truss. This has been a summary of this season's game, Center Stage, presented by RTX. For complete rules, please read both game manuals and check the Q&A forum. And always remember the most important rule of First Tech Challenge, gracious professionalism. Good luck, teams, and have a spectacular season.
Wow, what an exciting game we have ahead of us this season. Here to give us a closer look at the field is Erin Fadden.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Erin. Erin is a Game Design Committee team member and First Tech Challenge project manager.
Hey teams, I'm Erin Fadden, member of the First Tech Challenge Game Design Committee. First, I want to give a huge shout out to the Game Design Committee for all of their hard work they put in year-round to design each game. I hope you're excited about this year's Center Stage game presented by RTX. Center Stage will include 2 team-built elements to be used to earn points. The team game element, which is called the team prop, is the team-built element that is only used during the autonomous period. This is referred to as a game element because it cannot be picked up and scored after use during the autonomous randomization task. The drone is also a team-built element, but this is used during endgame for scoring. The drone has some specific build rules. For example, it must have the general configuration of an airplane with a defined fuselage. It must be built with 1 sheet of paper, and teams must build at least 2, 1 red and 1 blue drone. So, if you're thinking, a crumpled up piece of paper will work, right? The answer is no. That would not be considered a legal drone. Make sure to carefully read the team prop and drone build rules that are outlined in the Game Manual Part 1 when constructing each of these items. New this season, we are using April tags for robot navigation and autonomous tasks. There are a total of 8 April tags on the field. As you saw in the animation, there are 3 unique April tags on each of the backdrops and 2 unique April tags over the pixel stacks in front of the field. The scoring element in this year's game are the pixels. There are 94 pixels that come in 4 different colors. Each pixel is approximately 3 inches wide and a ½ inch thick. Pixels are scored on the backdrop. Here you can see that the backdrop is at a 30-degree angle to help the pixels stay in place when they are scored. Robots can simply place pixels onto the backdrop or onto other scored pixels. They can also be dropped from higher up and should still stay in place. Teams should be cautious while scoring on the backdrop and do their best to not knock or shake it. Some level of contact is okay, but knocking the backdrop hard enough can cause the pixels to descore. Spanning the field are the trusses, riggings, and stage door. The truss includes height-limiting bars that are 14 inches from the playing field floor. Teams will have to be thoughtful in their robot design to accommodate traversing the field with these lowered heights. The truss also includes the riggings, which are the red and blue bars for their respective alliance. Robots may suspend from the riggings during endgame. Only 1 robot can hang at a time from their alliance rigging. The stage door, prior to being lifted, has a 12-inch clearance from the playing field floor. The door can be raised to approximately 26 inches. Stoppers on the sides of the truss will not allow the stage door to be raised any higher. The width of the stage door provides enough space for 2 robots to travel through at the same time. However, robots traveling from the audience side of the stage door have transit priority. There are rules outlined in the Game Manual Part 2 that penalize robots that grasp onto the stage door. This is another area of the Center Stage game where teams will have to come up with some creative designs to effectively lift the door to travel from one side of the field to the other. And finally, as part of the end game, robots may launch their drones to score points. The drone must be launched so that it passes over the rigging or top pole of the stage door to be eligible to score points. Robots that are hanging from the rigging may also launch their drone during endgame. Neither a drive team member or robot should interfere with a launched drone. Interfering with the opposing alliance's drone while in flight will cause the affected alliance to automatically earn points for landing zone 1. I hope you enjoyed this overview of Center Stage. Please make sure to read both the Game Manual Part 1 and Game Manual Part 2. There are 2 versions of each of these manuals on our website for both remote and traditional gameplay. Every team is allocated 1 account to ask questions and receive official answers on the First Tech Challenge forum. Thank you so much for tuning in, and best of luck this season.
Thanks so much, Erin. The field looks full of creative and fun new challenges. We can't wait to see your creative solutions and robots in action on the field. If you're watching but haven't registered yet, there's still time to join in on the action. Visit our website for details and to get started. Be sure to tag First Tech Challenge on your team's social media throughout the season so we can keep in touch and see how your team is tackling the game. Thanks for joining us to kick off this season and for being part of the FIRST community. Now it's lights, camera, Steam.
All right, well, there you go. Welcome to Center Stage, everybody. And of course, Erin did an amazing job with that field tour video, but here in Florida, we always do something special. It's our 3 favorite 3-letter words, Bob and Sid.
Hi, this is referee Bob.
Hi, this is referee Sid. Okay, here's a full disclaimer. This is the best estimate of the game rules based on our initial read. Please consult Game Manual 1, 2, and question and answer forum. This season, there are 2 team elements. One of them is a prop, team prop, and they can be no less than 3 inches by 3 inches, 3 inches, and no more than 4 by 4 by 4. The primary color should be red or blue, depending on which alliance you're on, and the only marking allowed is the team number, it cannot be more than ½ inch.
This year we've got a second one called a drone. Essentially it looks like an airplane. Each robot on the alliance can have one. You'll need to have a red one if you're on red side, blue on blue side. Construction rules are very specific. Please read the game manuals. Essentially it's a single sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, or A4 if you happen to have that type. It can be either colored paper as I've shown here in these examples, or you can take white paper and color it with some markers or other things. And the only marking you need to put on there is your team number, and mostly that is just to retrieve it later. You can have the same design in a red and a blue like I've got shown here, or you could have a red and a nearly red or orange and blue, and you could have 2 different designs depending on what your strategy is going to be for that year. Again, read the rules because there's no tape, staples, only 1 sheet of paper, etc. But please read the game rules as there's very specifics about how to build these. This is called the truss. One of the things is you cannot be stepping over it to do it. Even though you're going to have 1 robot start on this side and 1 on that, you don't want me to be doing something like trying to reach over here and not step over to get it. I'll need to walk around the end to do that. Same thing that Sid would have to do if he'd wanted to come over to this side of the field.
A part of the pre-match setup is the team prop, where this team puts the team prop on the spike mark, and the pixel has to go back in the pixel storage.
One of the last things for pre-match setup is you can preload either a yellow pixel or purple pixel or both onto your robot. In addition, if you have a drone, you could preload your drone onto the robot to do that as well and set that up. You need to do that before the field gets frozen.
In Autonomous, there are several scoring activities. One of them would be placing the pixels on the spike mark, placing the pixels in the backstage or on the backdrop. However, for a bonus, the purple pixel has to be in the spike mark, in meaning it has to be on the center because the randomization object is the center. So that'll be in. If it is off the tape, then it's not in. Similarly, the yellow pixel can be scored if it is in the center based on the center randomization. That'll score a bonus. This would not score a bonus because it's in the right side. The teams do have an option of putting both the colored pixels, yellow and the purple, in the backstage. They will not get a bonus, but they'll still score as the backstage. They also have an option of putting it in the backdrop, which will also score, but no bonuses. Then the final thing would be navigating into the backstage. Mind you, they just have to cross the path. They have to be in, not completely in. And at the same time, if there is a pixel in here, if the pixel is in contact with the robot, it still scores.
So now we're going to go to driver controlled, and in this case, one of the main things we're going to do is be able to get pixels and put them into the backdrop. You can either get them here from the pixel stacks, you can pick them up and you can possess 2 up to 2. You need to be careful about movement here because once you move it off the tape, you're going to incur a penalty for any of those above 2 pixels. One of the other things you can do is make some mosaics, and we'll show you some different ones. This one is a proper mosaic because it contains one of each color of the purple, green, and yellow pixels. So this could be legal. As you can see, they're separated by the white pixels, so you could have 2 mosaics to be here. Next thing you would be is a set bonus as you stack them up here, as you cross each of these successive lines, 1, 2, and 3, and stack them up. Once you get a single pixel to cross that line, you'll get a set bonus, up to 3 set bonuses per match.
The stage door is an area where the robots can pass back and forth. They have to be cautious about grasping any part of the stage door. They could lift it, but they cannot grasp the stage door at any point. And also remember, for any robot coming from the audience side towards the backstage or the backdrop side have priority. It's called the transit priority. So if a robot, for example, is trying to go out, and if another robot is from an opposing alliance is trying to come in, the robot passing from the back to the front has to yield to the one coming inside. Okay. Now we're at the end game section where 3 objectives to be met. One's suspending from the rigging on the blue side and the red side. Incidental contact with the A-frame and any of these other members is okay, but the primary point would be your rigging. That's where it should, robot should be suspended off. When the robot is suspended, this zone becomes no access for the opposing alliance. The other part is parking in the backstage, and in the end game you also have the drone. Primarily the drone has to be launched from behind the backstage area towards the landing zone. It has to fly across and over the rigging. If a field personnel is in the zone, and if it hits the field personnel, then they get automatic zone 1 points. The zone 1 is closest to the field, the zone 2 is the middle one, the zone 3 is the outside.
So that was some better aspects of the rules. Again, disclaimer, this is our best understanding of reading through the rules a few times, to read Game Manual 1 and 2, and access the forums when they're open.
Good luck to all the teams, and can't wait to see you at a meet.
Airplane.
Oh, it came through?
All right, we're live.
Hey, we're back here in Orlando. We're live. Hope you enjoyed that. And the game, it's going to be an exciting game. Sid and I are going to try to answer some questions. We'll have a couple that are going to come. YouTube if you want to, and we're going to go to the sites eventually. So, first question is, can you pick up more than 1 pixel? This year you're allowed to possess up to 2 pixels. You can have 1 or 2, but not 3. Every one above 2, you get a penalty for to do that. And colors are, pick up any combination of colors you want to do that. So, got to remember that you can pick up to 2.
And that brings us to the next question. Is there a penalty for throwing the drone early? Early drone launching is only in the end game. Drone launching is only an end game activity, so anything launched earlier than that would be 0 score.
So no, you can't.
So
Short
yeah,
answer.
so you can do it, but
you can do it, but you don't get any points.
Yeah, don't get any points. All right, we're going to go to Orlando tonight. Going to Orlando. Hey, we got some questions from Orlando.
We had it, and then we didn't have it.
I can't hear you.
Oh. There we go. There we go.
I'm Murphy from team 16249. What would happen if the custom team element is knocked off of the tape?
The spike mark.
Custom team element.
The custom team like the soda can.
Oh.
Not on the spike mark.
Oh, if you move it off the spike mark, I mean, it's not a problem if you move it off the spike mark, but if it's But the pixel that you load onto it has to be on there.
Why don't you go grab it and show maybe what
Yeah.
you think she's talking about?
Yeah.
Didn't have your props ready.
Well, you know.
It's his fault.
Hans will probably dock our pay for that.
Okay, here, let's do this.
So yeah, so if you're talking about it being down, if you replace it, all you got to do is place it there to begin so that you can start autonomous there. Then after that, if it moves off or anything like that, it's not a big deal. But you got to remember to put the purple pixels got to be onto the spike mark or on top of the team prop if you want to score the points.
Would that count, Bob?
Probably not because it's not on the spike mark of the tape.
Thank you. I think it's off. It has to be on the spike mark.
Yep. Hopefully that answers the question.
All right, let's go to Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, how we doing?
We're doing good. So I had a quick question. You said you can't grab the stage door?
Yes.
Correct. You cannot grasp it. It says specifically grasp it. So somehow you're going to have to figure out how to gently lift and do that. There's probably going to be some stuff like last year with the, remember the junction poles, and you had to have kind of a curved surface to do that. That might be something, but you definitely can't do this and lift it up. You're going to have to, do something where you're lifting it without grasping. So definitely going to be a lot of forum posts about that, I'm sure, and we're going to need to get that clarified. But right now, it's just remember, you cannot grasp it.
Thank you.
So my question is about the white pixels stacked on the tape lines. Is there any wiggle room for knocking over that stack, or can you basically clarify on the movement rules in terms of moving those pixels?
Right now, as we see it in the rules, if the entire stack gets moved off the tape line, there's going to be penalties based on how many pixels you possessed or controlled.
So it's a possession penalty, but you could, in theory, come over here and move 2 of them? Is that
right, that's a great question.
Yeah. Or if
please submit your questions in the game.
And the other question is that the other thing is like last year with the cones and stuff, you can go over, you can knock the stack over, that's not a penalty. But if you slide the stack, like I'm going to hopefully carefully do, if you slide it off, and as soon as the referee can see the tape, any of these above 2 is going to be a penalty. So in this case, since there's 5, you'd get 3 minor penalties for the possession of those pixels.
That again is subject to how many you have already in control. Let's say you have 2 in control in your robot already, and then you move that's going to be full 5. So it's a subjective. Please ask your questions in the game forum.
Where are we going to next, guys? Gulf Coast. Hey, Gulf Coast. We started with it. You heard him, and then it cut off. Go ahead. You there? I hear coughing. There we go. Seems like your audio is cutting off, like from the echo in the room, maybe. Do you know sign language? Because I don't.
Nice try.
All right, we'll come back to Orlando, and then we'll get that sorted out.
Can we score the white pixel that's already on the field that gets auto-generated?
For the auto position, yeah, you can go ahead and score that pixel. And, in each case, there's going to be, and if you don't replace the team prop, there'll be 1 in the 4 locations. But yeah, you can. That is available to be scored, either in autonomous.
But you lose the bonus for doing the autonomous.
No, you don't.
Right?
The question, the way I understood was, the question was, in autonomous, can you score the white pixel after your autonomous is done? You have to be careful. Don't cross over into the opposing alliance side. You're risking major penalties. So on your side, yes, you can.
Yeah. And also then during driver control, if you'd like to pick that up and put it onto the backdrop or into the backstage, you can do that as well.
Right, not like last year where you couldn't score that one, right?
Yeah, the one you can't do is the team prop has once the time is over, it has no value to do anything else. So you should probably either push it out of the way or leave it alone. It doesn't score anything for you.
Aero Coast, cool.
Is there a echo? God.
We can hear you. Go ahead. Sunday. Say Sunday, 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 like you're a truck rider. Okay.
There's so much echo in it's throwing me off. Sorry. Is there a weight limit for the paper airplane thing?
No, there's not. Basically, the construction rules say that it has to be a single piece of sheet of 8.5 by 11 or A4 paper. No paper clips, no tape, no staples, et cetera, just a sheet of paper. So, and it has to be a specific time. I think it's 20 weight or 20 pound paper, something like that. Again, read in the rules. It says there. Again, printer paper is pretty much, kind of your standard printer paper is what you would be able to use to do that.
And one thing I want to point out that you might have not really realized, right? So this is 6 feet long, and remember that this is where you get the most points. So it's 30, 20, 10. If you go past this line, you get 0 points.
Correct.
So,
or if you go outside to the side.
If you're thinking, oh, I just shoot the airplane as far as I can. No, actually, you want to try to just get it over that wall. And remember, you have to shoot from behind there. So we actually tried, and it's like not super easy, but it never is, right?
Well, we'll show that later.
Sid's going to go find his paper and try.
All right.
See if Gulf Coast is working now.
Make sure you.
There we go.
All right.
Good. Yeah.
So how many
pixels in a mosaic?
No, how many mosaics can each pixel be in?
How many mosaics can each pixel be in?
Yeah.
All right.
So they can only be in one. So each mosaic has to be individual. So if I take three here, or Sid's got 3 right there. So if he makes a mosaic, that's it. That's the only mosaic that can be in. And then you'd have to, if you want to make another one, to be separated by some white ones.
Get some more white pieces, Hans? Thank you. So one of the things that they're pointing out, and we get to read the rules early, obviously, is you can't have any mosaics touching each other. You have to have a layer of white in between them.
So you see that?
Let's do one that's illegal.
So
also.
yeah.
So this will be a legal mosaic. This will be a legal mosaic. This will not be.
So he's saying, pointing out that it's not because
This
the
one.
colors are wrong, right? So you
it has
have
to be the same color or one of each. And if you build another one like this,
I got a yellow.
right?
That one, even though it's got the 3 different colors, since it's
won't be.
touching this one, it's illegal. So basically, a pixel can only be in one mosaic at a time.
And it has to be surrounded by white.
And it has to be surrounded by white to be separated.
So that one that you put together right there, those 3, that doesn't count.
Right.
This one doesn't.
If you had 2 whites, then it would count.
I'm just saying, a real one touching an illegal one doesn't count.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think that clears it up. All right. Sorry, everybody.
Northeast.
Northeast, what's up?
Oh, excuse me.
Hello. If a drone is fired over the rigging without enough force to leave the field and it hits a robot, does it get counted for the 30 points?
I don't think so.
No, it
it's
has to get into this landing zone to count.
It's got to be across
Since
to get
there's
the
a question of the drones, let's try.
Let me back up. Let's see if.
Let's
go,
try.
Sid.
You ready?
Yeah.
That doesn't count. This one counts. Oh, no, it doesn't count.
Too far out.
Too far out.
So. Yeah. So if there's a robot in the way.
Oh, if there is a robot.
If
okay.
it hits a robot as it's coming through and falls in, then you get the 30 points, right? Because it's opposing alliance. Because it's interfering.
I would believe that I believe that would be because you're blocking them, and I think that would allow you to get the Zone 1 bonus points.
I'm sure there'll be a little bit
There is a rule. It has to be at least 12 inches or higher.
Gotcha. So it has to be high enough that it could have
if it is
the
high,
wall.
if it is high enough, there's a catch. It's not simply saying that okay.
We have confirmation from the GDC that your interpretation is correct.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
So if it's dive bombing and it lands like here at like 6 inches, that's not going to give you the 30 points.
Yeah. That's right.
So, but
it's
like
really
you said,
if it was actually going to make it.
Yep. Okay. Orlando.
Hey, Orlando.
Hi, I'm Roger from Cyber Hazards. How long does the robot have to stay in the air to earn points?
Oh, for the end game. For
It
hanging.
has to stay until the referees do the final score after the count. So it's got to be obvious when they're doing the scoring at the end, when everything's at rest, that they are not touching the floor.
You want to talk a little bit about that you can like lean on the sides versus...
Yeah, so as we talked about, the main thing is you got to be supported mainly by your color, red on this side, blue on that side. But if you happen to be leaning against like this part of it here, as long as you're clearly supported here and you're leaning on this, or if you happen to be leaning up against that, that's okay. You just have to be primarily supported by the red or blue rigging depending on which alliance you're on. And also remember, only one robot per thing. So if both robots want to hang, they have to decide which side they're going to be on. They can't both be on the same side or it invalidates it.
Right, they cannot also be supported by another robot.
Yes, cannot do that. So
a suspended robot cannot
hang another robot.
Hang another robot.
We got one from YouTube.
The
Okay.
YouTube. Is there transit priority for under the trusses that are not the door? So is there transit priority for going here? We know there's one for over here. But is there transit priorities for the...
No, there's not. You're just going to have to remember that, obviously, you can't block somebody from going here and things like that. But no, there's no transit priority. The transit priority goes for the stage door because of the fact that maybe you need to be lifted and such. And again, the transit priority is audience side to the back takes priority over back towards the audience.
Arrow coast, let's do it.
Arrow, arrow, arrow.
When the human player places a pixel in the or during teleop, can they place it upright, or does it have to be lie flat?
They can put it in any orientation they want to. However, once they put it in,
you can't reach over. Can you reach over?
Yes, you can reach over. So Sid's going to show you how you can put some in. So once you put them in, you can drop them in. You can place them in. Do that. But once you put them in, you cannot try to reposition them.
Oh, that's a penalty. I had more than 6, right?
No, you got
No.
5. You're good.
Because one fell out.
One fell out.
So now,
That's a
you can only have 6 inside that corner.
only 6 in the time at a time. Any combination of colors, but 6 is the max.
But yes, you can put them vertical. So you could gently set one down and put it vertically.
You can set them out. Oh, but
you can't stop and fix it.
No, you can't stop it.
Yeah, once you set it, once you
take your hand off,
once
you're
you
done.
take your hand off, you're done. So you got to set it, and you can't be doing a lot of moving back and forth. You got to be able to just set it down and get your.
The idea is your hand's out of there quick as possible.
Well, because the other thing, just like previously, when a human player's in the wing, no robots. Robots in there, no human players. Got to be safe. Don't want anybody getting hurt.
One from YouTube.
On YouTube, does a robot have to possess a pixel when crossing, or can it slide it under? So can you like kick them underneath? Is what I think they're asking. So can you have a robot that
you could?
No, that's going to be considered propelling.
Well,
you can't propel it, right?
Can you do that? Is that what they're saying?
No,
like
that's considered control.
That's considered control and propelling. So you can do
Launching, propelling, not allowed.
So you have to possess it?
Yeah, so you have to do it. Now, doesn't mean you can hold it. Now, you could push it like a snowplow.
That's what I was, yeah.
If you want to push it like a snowplow, that's perfectly fine, as long as you can push up to 2 if you want, but you can't sit there and flick them back. And the other thing is, you can't score into the backdrop from this side. You have to be on the other side of the truss to be able to score. So if you had a long arm, you could go on the other side and reach back, but you couldn't have a really long arm and try to reach from here all the way to the back.
That was a really good question. Hey, Northeast.
Hello, hello.
If you throw the drone and then you miss, can the robot pick it back up and retry?
Yes, I believe.
Absolutely. Yes, and just the thing is, you got to remember, you got to go back to the back half of the field, do that, because it's got to come from the back half of the field over the truss and rigging to be a legal launch.
One thing to think about is when you miss, another robot can drive over your paper airplane, so make sure you make more than one.
Yes. Highly recommend you bring at least one per match that you intend to be in.
In both colors.
In both colors, because you don't know what alliance you're going to be on, because it's going to be there. So, pro tip. Orlando.
Hi, I'm Dylan from 9277. We were wondering, after a team has dropped or misplaced a pixel that hasn't been scored, what are the rules surrounding picking them up and using them for your own scoring?
So let's say like over here, let's say the Red Alliance dropped one. Can you go in there and pick it up and score? I think that's what he's asking, right?
So as long as it's
No, as
not
long
in
as
the
it's
back,
outside,
yeah,
it's
as long as
okay.
it's outside the backstage, because you can't go into the other team opposing alliance's backstage.
This would be considered in backstage, right? This would be
stepping over.
Oops.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah,
step over.
don't see what he did.
You didn't see because where am I? Okay, here we go, everybody.
This is considered in backstage, right? This is if the opposing alliance wants to get this pixel, that'll be descoring, so that's not allowed.
Yeah.
But if it's this way, it's still neutral.
So as long as it's outside that backstage taped
So
off area,
the issue though is you got to make sure you're not going to block access to the
Correct.
other team's backstage, because that's a penalty as well. So you could pick those up. If somebody drops one, it's kind of free game. These are all the pixels are neutral, alliance neutral. So you can pick up from wherever you want to do, just except for into the individual team's wing. You can't go into the other team's wing.
Just a reminder, don't do what Andrew just did. Go across like this.
Sid just did it. I didn't do it. What are you talking about? It wasn't on camera. The camera just magically floated over the center.
Yes. So.
All right, we're going to go with arrow codes.
Rule TE 03, Section B of the Game Manual Part 2 restricts the usage of fiduciary markers on the team prop. What is the restrictions on the usage of TensorFlow on that team prop?
That's a great forum question.
That's a great forum question. I really don't know about TensorFlow. Primarily, basically the issue is you can't put anything on there. Basically, all you can do is, Sid, if you can hand me one of those. Basically, the main color and the team number, that's it on here, on the team prop. Those are the only things that are on there. Are the team numbers the only thing other than the overall color of it that you can do that. It's very specific in the team, in the game manual construction rules for the team prop this year. So make sure you limit that. So you can't be making designs and other things like that. I know last year with some of them, put April tags, none of that's allowed. You basically, team number's it.
That's a great question.
They can use TensorFlow to try to identify.
Yeah, they can use TensorFlow if they want to, absolutely. I don't know that much about TensorFlow, so you're asking the wrong person about that. But, tech things like that. Maybe AJ would love to answer that question, or Mike. But, yeah, no, you can use TensorFlow, but again, remember on the team prop, it's the team number only is the only additional marking allowed.
Remember, ask questions, smart AJ, dumb ref.
Let's go to Northeast.
Okay. Yes.
So if a drone, if a blue team robot were to throw its drone, and then a red team robot were to go to its side, and so a red team robot is on the blue side robot throws the drone, and then the red robot tries to go and hang from his support bar, and let's say the drone accidentally hits his robot, would that still count?
So they're saying if there's like a red robot sitting if there's a red robot sitting right here and there's a blue robot trying to hang here and they fire into them hanging.
It's the first of all, it should be going over the trusses and the rigging.
But he's just saying
fly over.
When you hang, you can't stick above it? Or?
Great question. I think.
Yeah, you can stick above the truss when you do that. It's a good question.
Great question. Ask the forum. It's a forum post question.
Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly how to answer that. But I would think you get into it. One, you're trying not to interfere with the person hanging, and also you're not supposed to block drones. So that would be something to do.
It could kind of go either way, I guess.
It could go either way. I would be of the opinion that as long as the team that's trying to hang, is not doing anything, I would not call anything for blocking the drone. But I'd have to get some more guidance on that if I were going to have to really rule.
Because you can fire the drone from anywhere on that side, but
yeah,
you can only hang in 2 spots.
Yeah,
so
correct.
Yeah.
Good forum question though, because it does raise a lot of questions.
Come over here, we got a question for AJ.
Oh, sweet.
So our robot keeps making us downgrade the software to let us upload code from Android Studio. Will it be updated to be compatible?
Sorry, I got to reread this. Okay. Yeah, all right. So the last time I checked, the latest version of the First Tech Challenge SDK, the one that we will use this season, was not yet released. So keep an eye out on the GitHub repo for a 9.0 release. That's the one you're going to want to use. I don't think it's out yet, but it should be out soon. So wait for that, use that, and you'll have no problems with it.
I think it's released next week.
Yeah,
So Hans is saying
we think it's going to be released next week.
Good job, tech team.
Yes.
Let's go back to these guys in stripes.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Hi, I'm Cal from team 16249. If you knock pixels off of the board, or whatever it's called, do you get penalized by how many you knocked off, or is the same penalty, you get the same amount of points knocked off for whatever number of pixels you knocked off?
Oh, knocked off is backstage.
I'll start with the first part. Is if you descore on your own, it's just descored. There's no penalties. But if you knock them off of the opposing alliance, it's it's a minor per pixel. So if there's 10 pixels on there, that's 10 minors.
So
let's assume here, red is already scored in the backdrop.
And I'll get out of the way.
Okay.
Let's assume this is a blue robot, comes and knocks this. That's how many he scored.
That'd be 3 minors, right?
But it's still, never mind.
What?
I don't want to add confusion to that. That's it.
Yeah, but three minors because they knocked 3 off, right? Okay.
But then if they survive the endgame, those technically count. But
So
I
we're
know
going to go ahead and do one.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's very easy. These things. So ours aren't bolted down because we had to pull them out for the pre-show stuff. But normally there's a little bolt plate under there. But you can see if your robot loses control and full throttles into it, there's a possibility that you can knock everything off of there.
So we've got time
But there's
for
no
one
reason
more
why
question
a blue robot
from
would be in
each
the red,
division because we are wrapping up our time.
Okay.
So the sites have to leave at 1.
Where are we
So
going next?
we're going to go to Aero Coast next.
Aero Coast.
Tyson Terry with team 15297. When you throw the drone, can you be suspended on the thing? I forget what it's called.
The rigging.
Yes. Yes, you can be suspended and then launch your drone.
Yep, but make sure it comes from the back, over the top from the back side.
Yeah, so you could be suspended, but it still has to come
It has
from
to
the
come
backside.
over the rigging this way.
Yeah.
Launch.
Let me show you from the side, right? So
You're suspended. It has to cross the. Oh, not the pixel. Sorry, that's
not illegal.
That's me, the
drones over there.
Here, try some of these.
So it still has to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Or better, whatever.
And
It's
hopefully
fine.
go out into the landing zone and not land in the field.
Oh, that was my right hand. Sorry.
All right,
I
what's
think it was
next?
right.
All right, we've got one last question. Nothing from Jacksonville.
You've said that we can color a sheet of paper for the drone. Are we allowed to paint it, and will the added weight of the paint be an issue?
I don't think so.
I don't recall. I think it does say very, very specifically.
No.
No paint.
No paint.
No paint.
No paint.
Markers and a couple other things. The only thing you're allowed to use.
Crayons, maybe.
Crayons are not. Crayons and colored pencils, I believe, are not allowed. I believe markers and ink pens are probably the primary thing you can use.
Is that it? We done? I think we're done. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you check that forum to get all your official questions and answers. Make sure you submit your t-shirt designs or look for the t-shirt design contest. There's also the video contest coming out. Subscribe to AJ. You have anything else?
Just that you'll get some emails from me in the coming weeks with all the details of the season. My only core recommendation to you is don't look at just game manual part 2, right? I know that's the first place you're going to go, but all of the rules around the team elements are in game manual part 1. My last comment is 2 years ago, the game duck became my favorite game element. I think it might have been surpassed, right? A paper plane, what can be more fun than a paper plane? So let's go have some fun this year. I look forward to seeing all of the incredible designs. Thank you for joining us today, and good luck at your events.
Bye, everybody.